I'm back with another triggering topic. And this is the top 5 most diabolical characters on Love is Blind season 7 with an honorable mention. Now, I'm going to list from least to greatest. Oh, and this doesn't mean that I like the rest of the cast members a lot. These are just the people that stuck out the most to me because to keep it real, the only person that I really like the most there is Ashley. So let me get started now. The honorable mention is Monica. Monica is a perfect example of what you get when you settle. These men out here will tell you, oh, you're going to be alone if you don't lower your standards. You got to give a man a chance. But this is what happens when you give a man a chance who don't need one. She settled for a man that calls her a mutt. She settled for a man that she had doubts about financially. She knew he was broke. She knew that she wasn't attracted to him. She knew he was a weirdo, but she was willing to settle, and settling gets you nothing but being miserable, not getting what you know you want and deserve, and it gets you attracting a man that is not worthy of you in the first place. Now, I'm going to say this, all right? She should have known that that man was not serious about her when he tried to quote unquote break it to her gently while they were still on vacay, talking about he don't want to be forced into something. And then, something else is that she was sitting there helping this white tea man with his bills because he was unemployed. That is crazy work. I don't give men, and I don't believe in giving men any grace. Zero. And I definitely ain't about to give a white tea man grace for being broke and not having any savings when America was literally created for him. The privilege that he possesses is insane. To be broke when everything is for you is pure insanity. But also, she should have known that he was a perv when he mentioned that whole thing of people sliding into the DMs of the men because of the show and wanting to give them head or something like that. That's the best way that I can say it for YouTube. She also should have known that he was a degenerate when he joked about pegging and being treated like a piece of meat, because that's all. You just got to listen to really what he's saying without saying it. That man is a sub. He's into some BDSM. And I can guarantee you he's probably into a whole lot more kinky and disgusting stuff beyond that. You just got to read between the lines and look at him. I know and I'm not talking about just a regular freak, okay? I know one of those sick, twisted, perverted freaks when I see one. And I'm telling you, he's one of them. I'm not talking about no type of, because everybody is, entitled to express themselves. Actually, I'm no prude, but I'm telling you, that man, he into some weird, sick stuff. You can tell the vibe is there. Talking about it's so many things that he can put his man meat inside. Yeah, I bet. And I bet one of them is another man too. Yuck. I'm just saying, you gotta, sometimes when you're trying to be a study of human nature, you have to read beyond the words that they say. You gotta really study people. But anyway, look, I'm just gonna say this. Honestly, these women talking to these guys in a pod for a few days and then meet them in person, and then in 24 hours, they're having intercourse. Essentially with a stranger, because they don't know these men. Men are always lying. Men are always hiding. Men are always manipulating. Men are always saying half truths. So my thing is, you really don't know these men, or if what they're saying is really true. You don't know them deep enough to love them. And that's why I always say that when they talk about, I love you, I love you, I love you. No, you don't. No, you don't. You may like them, I guess, but you don't love them because they are a stranger to you. And y'all ain't even been to the clinic with these men, but dropping the draws in 24 hours and meeting these men in person and then being shocked that these men are actors. Oh, I can't believe it. How can you not believe it? Most men ain't no good. And you know this man for 24 hours in person. What you thought? What you thought? And that's why, in my opinion, people can call it prudish or whatever you want to call it. Okay? But in my opinion, to protect yourself as a woman, intercourse should be reserved until you meet at the altar. If you make it to get married, then that's the night that y'all should be doing it. And I want to hear no, oh, I gotta try it before I buy it. I gotta make sure that we are actually compatible. Please stop it. You will be. You will be if you love him. He will be if he loves you. And anything that y'all got going on, y'all can work through it and get it together. Period. Period. I don't want to hear it. Any earlier that you're doing it, you are clouding your judgment. You are hindering your ability to be unbiased. And also you're giving him some of the milk that he's supposed to get when he buys the cow. And sometimes men act real funny when you do that. You know what I'm saying? And with Monica, it was a lot going on with her. The whole mutt thing, her thoughts on race and how she was acting, allowing this man to play in her face, and she almost gave me a pick me vibe. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that is the reason why she was an honorable mention for me. But you know what? I've done enough. I digress. Let's get into the real tea. Let's get into my top 5 from least to greatest. Number 5 is Alex. Alex is y'all probably is a very surprising choice for me. Y'all probably think it is, but I'm gonna let y'all know. Alex is very irritating to me. Now, she was all nice to that man while he was in the pods. But now that you've seen him, now you rolling your eyes. Now everything irritates you about him. Anytime he say something, you always looking funny and looking stank. Telling him, oh, don't say nothing about that dog again. I'm going to walk away. Da, da, da. Why is that such a big deal? Why? And I'm not saying that he wasn't trying to tease you or annoy you a bit, but is it that serious? If you supposedly love him and he's your soulmate, are you not attracted to him? Is that what it is? Because that's what I think it is. And if so, that still doesn't mean you should be treating him like that. Just leave him alone then. Tell him that and then y'all can separate. In my opinion, she just had a nasty attitude and a nasty demeanor, and I'm not here for it. And I think a lot of times when women have nasty attitudes and demeanor and it's so nasty that they run men off, nobody say nothing about it because it's like, oh, you're going to say she's a pick-me because or the person that's saying it is a pick-me for saying, hey, you shouldn't be treating that man bad. You're going to run that man off. Like, I'm just not here for that. If you got a man that seems to be trying his best to do what he needs to do and you like him, why are you treating him bad? Like, I don't know. I just didn't like it. And then when Tim said that she covered his mouth and was calling him out of his name, how in the world are you at the point to where you cussing this man out and calling him out of his name? And we already know what she was saying because you decided to be moody and get an attitude out of nowhere and he wanted to know what's going on. How in the world do you get to that point and you ain't known this man? You haven't seen him in person more than 48 hours. That is the biggest red flag in the world. If it was reversed and it was a woman, I would say, sis, you got to leave ASAP because that man gonna knock your head between the washer and dryer. Period. So I'm not going to give her no excuses. And I'm just going to say this. She is all out of whack. Talking about she could go to sleep in her apartment. If you can go to sleep in that apartment with trash bags around and filth and clutter around your entire living space, your bed covered up, you can't even sleep in your bed. That's a problem, okay? That's a problem, okay? Because that just gave me all the proof I needed of this woman's mental instability. Really, because the way you're living, your living space is directly connected to the state of your mind. For real. And yeah. And my thing is, like I said earlier, I think a lot of times when there are some women that have bad attitudes, it is excused away. And I really don't think that's helpful. That's not helpful for women. That's not helpful for women seeking to build long-term relationships or whatever the case may be. And I really do think that her attitude is probably a very big reason why she hasn't been able to have a successful relationship. Because she's a very pretty girl. But, Tim seems like he's willing to work with her. So I guess we'll see what happens. Number 4 is Hannah. Baby, Hannah acted like the whole time in the pods that she didn't want to be judged. But then when she came out of the pods, she did nothing but judge. She did nothing but judge Nick. And, I'm not saying that Nick's the greatest. He lives with his parents and he has difficulty, in my opinion, seeing or able to follow social cues. But she picked Nick. And it seemed like all she was doing was putting him down and getting smart with him and being mean-spirited. And I really, I hate the type of people that are mean and they call it a joke to cover up the fact that they're being disrespectful and that they're overstepping. I honestly, people like that, that'll get your jaw jacked playing with me because I don't like that. Don't say the most craziest thing ever. Like, oh my gosh, you look so disgusting in that outfit. You look like a piece of garbage. Oh, I'm just playing. Like, yeah, no, okay. I'm be just playing when I give you these hands too. Let me stop. But I'm just serious. Even her friend said that she was mean spirited. So you should already know that it's true. Her friend thinks the same thing. Or was that her brother? I don't know. But I thought that was her brother or friend. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about though. And then I just feel like Hannah has a very inflated sense of who she is. Like, girl, you acting like you all that. You not. You not. And why you trying to put him down when you ain't got no job yourself? I really don't like people that sit on this high horse and they're in a glass house and they want to act like everybody else needs work but them. But never them. Never them, everybody else. Like, I don't like that. And I don't like her. And I don't think she's ready to be nobody's wife. But that's just my opinion. Number 3, Steven. A perv, a degenerate, a cheater, a actual deviant, and a brokey. And he was out here calling this woman a mutt. Just gross. In my opinion, this man came on the show for one reason and one reason only: to get the notoriety and to get the platform so that he could get more freaky intercourse from women and probably men, if I'm keeping it funky. That's what he came for. And that's why he was so hyper focused on X, because that's all he was focused on. That's all he cared about. His whole goal was to get his DMs filled up with desperate women that wouldn't care that he's a brokey. They just want to sleep with him because of the fact that he was on the show. And you know that it's weird women out there like that. That's the truth. It really is. I'm just saying. I don't think that he ever loved Monica, ever cared about Monica. I don't think that he was faking the entire time, in my opinion. And Monica being stupid enough, or being stupid and being goofy enough to give that disgusting man her body, was just the icing on the cake for him. It was like, oh, okay, cool. You gonna give it to me, I'm gonna take it. And that's just gross. But I'm telling you, I don't feel like he had any intention on ever marrying her. That's why he already started laying the foundation of not doing that while they was still there on vacation. And this is why, and I'm going to keep saying it, this is why these women should not have intercourse with these men until they are married. You know what I'm saying? Because I promise you, if she hadn't done that, I'm not saying that she still wouldn't be upset. I'm not saying that she wouldn't still feel violated. I'm not saying any of that. But it totally hits way more different when you have allowed a man access to your most sacred space and then he play in your face. It really does. And I'm just saying, having intercourse with the man that you have not thoroughly vetted is a recipe for disaster. And before the women come on my page and say, well, if you thoroughly vet them, something can still happen, or it doesn't matter how whatever you do, you're still going to get played. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, fine. If you think that, then what do you think having intercourse with a man that you know less than 24 hours is going to get you? Huh? It's definitely going to get you a disaster. So at least one, you have a lower chance of it happening. So please don't do me. Don't try to come up here and make excuses for being undisciplined and setting yourself up to be a goofy. That's all I got to say about that. I said from now on, I'm not pulling no more punches. But let me keep going. Let me calm down. Let me calm down, y'all. I know I'm wilding. All right, let me go. I feel passionate about Love is Blind. Okay, I feel very passionate about it. I make my husband watch it. But anyway, let me keep going. Number two is Tyler. And I know you may be shocked that he is number 2 and not number 1, but please stay with me, rock with me. It will all make sense. Now, Tyler is number 2 because he's a liar, manipulator, and a love bomber. Now, that Negro knew good and well that Ashley, a black woman, a black queen, who's very beautiful, might I add, without children, will want to know if he had children, no matter what, whether they're sperm donor babies or not. Not to mention that this man had posts on social media. I guess I say allegedly, but I saw them calling himself dad. That doesn't seem like you're not involved to me. Now, also allegedly, he has also been exposed by several women by taking money from them and not repaying them. Broke boy activity. I don't know what's with all these brokies on the season, but and you know what also? I'm not trying to promote toxic masculinity. I want y'all to understand that. I'm not. I'm not trying to promote toxic masculinity or anything. But a man constantly crying, I don't know. That's a red flag to me. It's giving manipulation. Because I don't have a problem with the man expressing himself. We all have emotions and we all have cried before, men and women. I have no problem with that, but I don't know. Like I said, a man crying constantly is giving manipulation, and it's also giving, how are you going to be my rock, my support system, my man, my masculine man? How you gonna be that because when something happens and something stressful, you gonna be right beside me crying. Talk about some, oh Lord, what we gonna do? Yeah, no. No, I'm sorry, because at that point, my vagina is gonna be shriveled and dried up like the Sahara Desert. I'm sorry, it is. And I mean, I don't even cry like that. So what are you doing? You know what? Let me stop. Is this toxic? Is it just me? I don't know. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like, no. So now, finally, if you watch this whole video to this point, I really appreciate you because now, for real, dun dun dun, let's get into number one. The most diabolical character on Love is Blind, season 7. It is Ramses. I know. You're probably surprised, huh? But let me tell you why. Ramses has spent all of this season acting like he is this social justice warrior, this world rights activist, this free thinker who says, oh, being a billionaire is unethical. And I can't be behind a person actively in the military because it goes against my morals. And what about Palestine? And what about the US and its imperialism? And the best thing for us to be in the world is broke. That would be the most moral thing to do. Now, you out here with that soul glow curl and 2 roach antennas on the side of your head. When I seen that, I knew you wasn't no good. I don't know why everybody else didn't see it, but I knew you wasn't no good because you don't love yourself. How can you love someone else when you don't love yourself looking like that? But you know what? That's not the point. Let me not be judgmental. I'm getting sidetracked. I will say this. I will go in the bathroom, say Candyman 3 times, and let him cut off my breasts and use them as basketballs before I ever let a man that looks like an extra in Aladdin touch my private area. I'm sorry, it would never happen. But honestly, I want you to know, how can a man that is constantly acting like he is the blank man of social justice sit there and pressure your woman who is about to be your wife to be on birth control just so that you can have a better nut, just so that you can have more enjoyable sex? That's disgusting and selfish. Birth control can make women sick. It has been rumored to possibly cause certain types of cancers or elevate your risk. You don't want to use condoms, and you want the whole pressure of remaining child free, which, mind you, is something that's more your issue than hers. You want her to have that burden rest directly on her, but not you. Sir, you can go get a whole vasectomy. And the fact that this man didn't even mention a vasectomy is absolutely diabolical. He probably feels like, oh no, I don't want to do that. That is very intrusive. That's a surgery. I don't want to put my body through that. But you don't have no problem putting your wife or your woman through that. What? If you don't want the kids and you want condom-free intercourse, sir, make you an appointment. And I think it's with the urologist, if I'm not mistaken, and get snipped. Talking about it's a deal breaker. Any man that is worried more about complete strangers and social justice movements than the woman that he lays down with every night and is going to be calling his wife is performative. And he's a faker. And he's not anything that he's claiming to be. He's a poser. And you ain't gonna build no type of long-lasting relationship or marriage with a poser and a fake that is selfish. Honestly. And the reason why I feel like he is the most diabolical is because he's the type of man to put on a mask, not only to others to hide who he truly is, but also to hide who he truly is from himself as well. And that is truly psychotic. And I'm telling you right now, that will manifest itself in some way within their marriage. I bet you the lady that he got divorced from has plenty of stories to tell about him. I bet you she got some. But you know what? I digress. If you guys watched this whole video and you enjoyed it, because I know I was bugging. I know I was tripping. So if you enjoyed this whole video, man, do your girl a favor and drop an 11 in the comments and let me know. Okay? Because I said I really got to start just keeping it real. I had to keep it real, all right? And if you can't donate to my Cash App above to help support the channel, that's no problem at all. Just do your girl a free favor. Follow me on TikTok. I live stream there. Follow me on YouTube. I live stream on YouTube as well. Got to figure out how to do both at the same time, you guys. I had some technical difficulties last week. So I do need you guys to tell me exactly what is the most optimal time period for me to have a set schedule of live streaming so that you guys don't miss my live streams. Let me know, okay? And as always, ladies, did I say follow me on YouTube? If I didn't, please follow me on YouTube. But as always, ladies, I love to hear from y'all. So please drop your thoughts, comments, and feelings down below.